Good afternoon. Senate will come to order, and the Secretary will call the roll.
Senator Brooks, Senator Buck, Senator Canizaro, Senator Dennis, Senator Doñate, Senator Dondero Loop, Senator Gochia, Senator Hammond, Senator Hansen, Senator Hardy, Senator Harris, Senator Kiekefer, Senator Lang, Senator Neal, Senator Orenshaw, Senator Pickard, Senator Ratty, Senator Scheibel, Senator Sievers-Gansert, Senator Settlemyre, Senator Spearman.
Thank you. Let the record reflect there are 21 senators present. Please rise for the prayer and invocation by Pastor Louis Locke of Carson City Foursquare Church.
Thank you. Let us pray. Lord, as we gather today, we give you thanks and call upon your name, remembering what the psalmist wrote in Psalm 145, that the Lord is near to all who call upon him, to all who call upon him in truth. We call upon you on behalf of the people of our state. We pray for good health, protection, healing from the effects of the pandemic, and restored health in relationships and economic provision. We pray on behalf of our legislators. Grant them wisdom, knowledge, and discernment, especially in the shaping and drafting of legislation. Also on behalf of our national leaders, give them wisdom and help them make good decisions. And on behalf of our military and first responders, protect them as they serve the people of our country. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Order of business number 3, reading and approval of the journal. By previous order of the Senate, the reading of the journal is dispensed with, and the President and Secretary are authorized to make the necessary corrections and additions. Order of business number 4, reports of committee.
Madam President, your Committee on Commerce Labor, to which referred Senate Bills numbers 145 to 245, has had the same under consideration. Begs leave to report same back with the recommendation amended to pass as amended. Signed, Senator Pat Spearman, Chair. Madam President, your Committee on Government Affairs, to which referred Senate Bill number 222, has had the same under consideration. Begs leave to report same back with the recommendation amended to pass as amended. Signed, Senator Marilyn Dondero Loop, Chair. Madam President, your Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, to which were referred Senate Bills number 60, 387, has had the same under consideration. Begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation amended to pass as amended. Signed, Senator Dallas Harris, Chair. Madam President, your Committee on Judiciary, to which were referred Senate Bills numbers 7, 41, 72, 148, 212, has had the same under consideration. Begs to report the same back with the recommendation amended to pass as amended. Signed, Senator Melanie Scheibel, Chair. Madam President, your Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, to which were referred Senate Bill number 268, Senate Joint Resolution number 7, has had the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation to pass. Signed, Senator James Orenshaw, Chair. Madam President, your Committee on Natural Resources, to which were referred Senate Bills numbers 33, 54, has had the same under consideration. Begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation amended to pass as amended. And also your Committee on Natural Resources, to which was referred Senate Bill number 34, has had the same under consideration. Begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation amended and referred to Committee on Finance. Signed, Senator Fabian Doñate, Chair. End of reports.
Thank you. Order of business number 6, messages from the Assembly.
Assembly Chamber, Carson City, April 12, 2021. To the Honorable Senate, I have the honor to inform your Honorable Body the Assembly on this day passed Assembly Bills 84, 217, 290, 426, 430, Assembly Joint Resolution number 10 of the 80th session, and also passed as amended Assembly Bills numbers 119, 182, signed Carol Ayala Sala, Assistant Chief Clerk of the Assembly. End of messages.
Thank you. Order of business number 9, motions, resolutions, and notices.
Senate Concurrent Resolution number 8, introduced by Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, expresses support for the identification of key transportation priorities for the Lake Tahoe Basin. End of resolution.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the resolution as a whole?
There are none. End of resolution.
Thank you. Senator Pickard.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Concurrent Resolution 8 supports the Bi-State Working Group on Transportation.
Senator Pickard, did you want to make a motion first?
Beg your pardon. Move to adopt Senate Concurrent Resolution number 8.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Pickard?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll start again. Senate Concurrent Resolution 8 supports the Bi-State Working Group on Transportation and asks the group to collaborate and agree on a 5-year list of transportation priorities and projects in the Tahoe Basin. The list of transportation priorities and projects should include 1, cost-benefit analyses for each project, 2, consistency with California and Nevada's efforts to address climate change, and 3, the identification of potential funding sources, as well as equity issues and barriers to implementation, and the resolution is effective upon adoption. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Resolution adopted. Order transmitted to the Assembly.
Assembly Joint Resolution Number 10 of the 80th session, introduced by Assembly Committee on Commerce and Labor, proposed to amend the Nevada Constitution to prospectively increase the required minimum wage paid to employees. End of bill. End of resolution.
Thank you. Senator Ratty?
Thank you, President. I move to refer AJR 10 of the 80th Legislative Session to Commerce and Labor.
Thank you. Senator Ratty has moved to refer AJR 10 of the 80th session to Commerce and Labor. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered. Senator Cannizzaro?
Thank you, Madam President. I move to take Senate Bill 190 from general file and place it on general file for the next legislative day.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Senator Lang has approved the addition of Senator Spearman as a sponsor on Senate Bill Number 168.
Thank you. Senator Cannizzaro?
Thank you, Madam President. I move to take Senate Bills 127, 177, 269, and 405 from their place on general file and place them on the Secretary's desk.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And that concludes order of business number 9.
Madam President,
Yes, I'm sorry. Senator Cannizzaro?
you have order of business number 9.
Yes, we are there.
Thank you, Madam President. Can we take Senate Bill 173 from its place on general file and place it on general file for the next legislative day?
You have heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Senator Cannizzaro. That was 173. Thank you. Madam Secretary? Okay.
And that concludes order of business number 9.
Thank you. Order of business number 10, introduction, first reading, and reference.
Assembly Bill Number 84 by Assembly Committee on Government Affairs revises provisions relating to wildfires, refer to Government Affairs. Assembly Bill 119 by Assemblywoman Thomas, etc., and Senator Neal, etc., revises provisions relating to Maternal Mortality Review Committee, refer to Health and Human Services. Assembly Bill 182 by Assemblywoman Tolles, etc., and Senator Pickard, etc., revises the elements of the crime of advancing prostitution, refer to Judiciary. Assembly Bill 217 by Assembly Committee on Health and Human Services requires training for unlicensed caregivers at certain facilities, refer to Health and Human Services. Assembly Bill 290 by Assemblywoman Hadagi revises provisions relating to financial institutions, refer to Commerce and Labor. Assembly Bill 426 by Assembly Judiciary makes various changes relating to the protection of children, refer to Health and Human Services. Assembly Bill 430 by Assembly Health and Human Services revises provisions relating to disabilities, refer to Health and Human Services. End of Assembly bills.
Thank you. Senator Ratty?
Thank you, President. I would move to refer Assembly bills as read to the committees as listed.
Thank you. Senator Ratty has referred Assembly Bills 84, 119, 182, 217, 290, 426, 430 as read and as listed to the committees as read and as listed. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
And that concludes order of business number 10.
Thank you. Order of business 13, general file, third reading.
Senate Bill Number 43, introduced by Senate Committee on Natural Resources, revises provisions relating to Advisory Board on Outdoor Recreation. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 2, this act becomes effective July 1, 2021. End of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Donyate.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 43 expands the membership of the Advisory Board on Outdoor Recreation by adding 1 voting member and 2 non-voting members. The voting member is to be appointed by the governor from the list of nominees submitted by the Board of Directors of the Nevada Association of Counties. The 2 non-voting members must be representatives of the U.S. Department of Interior and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, respectively.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right. Hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 43 is 21 in favor, 0 against. The bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 45, introduced by Senate Committee on Government Affairs, revises provisions relating to crimes. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 10, end of Section 10, end of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Dundaro-Luke.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 45 changes the name of the Office of the Ombudsman for Victims of Domestic Violence within the Office of the Attorney General to the Office of Ombudsman for Victims of Domestic Violence, Sexual Assault, and Human Trafficking to reflect the expanded scope of the office to include the crimes of sexual assault and human trafficking, and makes conforming changes to the name, duties, and qualifications of the Ombudsman. In addition, the bill revises the composition and duties of the Committee on Domestic Violence. This bill also revises the punishment imposed upon a person convicted of a first offense of domestic violence against a pregnant victim to require that the offender be imprisoned in county jail for not less than 30 days, but not more than 6 months. The offender may be further punished by a fine of between $500 and $1,000 and must participate in weekly counseling for not less than 12 months at his or her expense. The effective date is October 1st, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 45 is 21 in favor, 0 against. Bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 49, introduced by Senate Committee on Health and Human Services, revises provisions relating to cannabis. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 4 of this act becomes effective upon passage and approval. End of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Kiefer.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 49 makes various changes relating to cannabis. Specifically, it authorizes the Cannabis Compliance Board to employ the services of people it considers necessary for the purposes of hearing disciplinary proceedings. It authorizes the executive director of the board to serve a complaint upon a respondent who is subject to a disciplinary proceeding. It authorizes the chair of the board to grant one or more extensions to the 45-day requirement within which disciplinary hearings must be held pursuant to a request of a party or an agreement of both parties. It removes authorization for the board to take the testimony of a witness by deposition in a hearing before the board. It authorizes the board to adopt policies and procedures to waive registration requirements for people who have an ownership interest of less than 5% in a cannabis establishment. And finally, it revises labeling requirements for all cannabis products offered for sale to include the words, quote, "this product contains cannabis," unquote, rather than, quote, "this is a medical cannabis product," unquote, or, quote, "this is a cannabis product," unquote. The measure is effective upon passage and approval.
Thank you. Further remarks? Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you, President. I would like to make a disclosure. My wife is currently serving as a member of the Nevada Cannabis Compliance Board, and Senate Bill 49 was requested by the board of which she's a member. I'm hereby making this disclosure for the purposes of Senate Standing Rule 23, and I will abstain from voting on Senate Bill 49.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 49 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 abstention. The bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 84, introduced by Senate Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, increases the maximum number of voters in an election precinct. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 2 of this act becomes effective July 1, 2021. End of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you, President. Senate Bill 84 increases the maximum size of an election precinct from 3,000 voters to 5,000 registered voters.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right. Looks good to go. Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 84 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 abstention. The bill having received a constitutional majority, declared passed. Order the Assembly. Let's have a brief recess, please. All right, the Senate will come back to order. We are on the first agenda order of business 13. In Senate Bill 84, Senator Kiefer was excused. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Senate Bill 123, introduced by Senator Spearman, revises provisions relating to the Nevada Silverhead Legislative Forum. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 3, this act becomes effective July 1, 2021. End of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 123 revises qualifications for appointment to the Nevada Silverhead Legislative Forum. Specifically, it reduces the state residency requirement from 5 years to 6 months and the senatorial district residency requirement from 3 years to 30 days. In addition, the bill provides that a member of the National Silverhead Congress from Nevada, who is an ex officio member of the forum, may vote on a matter that is considered by the forum if the person is at least 60 years of age and has been a resident of the state for 6 months immediately preceding the date of the meeting of the appointment. It's effective upon July 1, 2021.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 123 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. Bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 193, introduced by Senate Committee on Education, revises provisions relating to education of veterans and their spouses and dependents. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are not. Section 7, subsection 2, end of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Hardy.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 193 requires the Board of Regents of the University of Nevada to submit to the legislature a report concerning student veterans. The bill also requires the board to give preference in admission to certain veterans in each nursing program and program for the education of teachers. Furthermore, Senate Bill 193 removes the time limitation for matriculating within the Nevada system of higher education for certain veterans, prohibits the assessment of tuition charges against veteran spouses and dependents using post-9/11 educational assistance, and prohibits the assessment of tuition charges against students using survivors and dependents educational assistance. Effective date, October 1st, 2021.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 193 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. The bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order the Assembly.
And just as a point of information, Senate Bills 127, 173, 177 have been moved to 127, 177 have been moved to the Secretary's desk. 127 and Senate Bill 190 have been moved to the next legislative days. And we are on Senate Bill 237, introduced by Senators Harris and Scheibel, revises provisions relating to businesses. People of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 7, subsection 3, end of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Harris.
Senate Bill 237 makes a legislative declaration that LGBTQ-owned businesses are important to the welfare of the state, as well as its intent to provide equal access and opportunities for the formation and growth of LGBTQ-owned businesses in Nevada in relation to the businesses of the Department of Transportation, similar to the access and opportunities provided to other disadvantaged businesses. The bill adds these businesses to the list of disadvantaged and emerging small businesses that are entitled to receive certain business financing information through the state business portal and obtain loans through programs run by the Office of Economic Development. Nevada's Department of Transportation, the Cannabis Advisory Commission, and the Regional Business Development Advisory Council for Clark County are each directed to include LGBTQ-owned businesses in their planning and programming related to business ownership and development by disadvantaged persons, and the definition of disadvantaged persons is updated to include a person who identifies as LGBTQ. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Further remarks. Senator Pickard.
Thank you, Madam President. I agree completely with the statement in the opening paragraphs of the amendment or of the bill that the LGBTQ-owned businesses are an important part of the panoply of business, particularly small business, that we have in the state of Nevada. However, in the opening paragraph of the digest for SB 237, the Legislative Council language clearly ties this bill to federal law regarding the preferences made available to minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses who are certified as a disadvantaged business enterprise under 13 CFR 124 subpart 8A. It then adds to the list LGBTQ-owned businesses without a corresponding federal analog. And while we as a state are certainly at liberty to extend whatever benefits to any particular group the majority chooses, when we tinker with federal program eligibility, we do so at our peril. Creating a disparity in law between state and federal paradigms typically results in confusion and disappointment in the citizenry that is not easily rectified. There is currently no federal program that provides the same designation as this bill will provide in state law. Similarly, there is no way to verify a person's claim of self-inclusion in this group the same way it is possible to determine a person's race, gender, or veteran status. These discrepancies will likely be a gateway to fraud and market confusion that are totally avoidable. If the $4 billion unemployment benefit debacle has taught us anything, it is that there are lots of people ready and willing to try to defraud the government if it means they get a personal advantage. If nothing else, these discrepancies certainly will lead to a diffusion of the benefits currently extended to minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses. So while I certainly agree that LGBTQ-owned businesses should be free of governmental interference and prejudice, I do not believe this bill has properly considered the unintended consequences such a departure from established federal law will create. I will therefore vote against its passage on these grounds. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Pickard. Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I'd like to say ditto from my colleague from District 20. As I participate in a lot of these types of bidding processes, typically there's a checkoff box to see if you are a minority owner, a woman owner, or a veteran owner of a business. By dramatically expanding who can qualify, you have substantially diluted the opportunity for those types of minorities to have the advantages that current law provides. The odder part to me about the bill and why I think it's a big mistake is the definitions in here. LGBTQ, this is a quote from the bill, LGBTQ means lesbian, gay, bisexual, pansexual, transgender, transsexual, queer, intersex, intergender, or asexual, or of any other non-heterosexual or non-cisgender orientation or gender identity or expression. So when you have that broad of a category, virtually everybody that wanted to could claim to be one of these categories, because frankly, how are you going to prove it? How are you going to prove somebody is not asexual, for example? So I would encourage my colleagues, especially those that so often speak about needs to protect women businesses and veteran businesses and minority businesses, to vote no on this. It's a big mistake. And to have that level of categories, frankly, if I wanted to, I could qualify in one of these if I wanted. And if they challenged me, I would say, prove me wrong. How do you prove that I'm not one of these things? So I would encourage everybody to vote no on this if, in fact, you really care about women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, and veteran-owned businesses. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Hansen. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Madam President. In the 1950s, there was a book written, Native Son, and in it the main character, although skin was black, could speak Spanish, and to avoid being persecuted for his blackness, presented himself as Spanish. The persecution that the LGBTQ community receives today, the disdain by so many people that we even are allowed to breathe and walk on the face of the earth, I'm not sure who would present themselves as a member of our community if they are not. But there's a real basic reason that we should vote yes on this bill. For the last 4 years, the numbers of the contribution that the LGBTQ community have contributed to our GDP have gone up. And at last look, it was $1.7 trillion to the U.S. economy. People who want to do wrong will figure out a way to do wrong. This is a necessary bill because it's about, yes, the economy. Yes, it's about job creation. But more importantly, it's another step in the direction of equality and equity, period.
Thank you, Senator Spearman. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 237 is 13 in favor, 7 against, 1 abstention. The bill having received a one excused. The bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill 269 has been placed on the Secretary's desk. Senate Bill number 311, introduced by Senator Ratty, revises provisions relating to rural housing. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 19, subsection 2, end of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Ratty.
Thank you, President. Senate Bill 311 authorizes the Nevada Rural Housing Authority to create a for-profit business entity to prepare, carry out, operate, and otherwise manage housing projects, provide for the construction, reconstruction, improvement, extension, alteration, or repair of housing projects, enter into a public-private partnership to finance a housing project, construct or operate a housing project for profit, and make certain payments in lieu of taxes relating to the development, operation, and management of housing projects. The bill also authorizes the business entity created by the authority to rent or lease accommodations to person with a higher income, provided the housing project primarily serves persons of low or moderate income. This bill is effective upon passage and approval for the purpose of adopting regulations and performing any other preparatory administrative task, and on October 1st, 2021 for all other purposes.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 311 is 20 in favor, 1 excused, 0 against. The bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 352, introduced by Senate Committee on Education, revises provisions relating to education. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 2, this act becomes effective July 1, 2021. End of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Dennis.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 352 requires the Commission on Professional Standards in Education to adopt regulations that authorize a currently employed paraprofessional who is enrolled in a program to become a teacher to complete an accelerated student teaching program in the same or similar area in which the person is currently employed. The Commission must also adopt regulations that require Nevada's Department of Education to accept student teaching experience completed outside of Nevada if the experience substantially fulfills Nevada's requirements. This bill is effective on July 1st, 2021. And I will say this is a bill to remove barriers for people becoming teachers. We have several thousand individuals that work for our school districts in the classroom already, and one of their big barriers is that they have to take a semester off with no income, no benefits, so that they can finish student teaching, so that they can get their license. So many of them don't ever complete that because they can't afford to do that. This removes that barrier and allows them to use that experience in the classroom that they already have. They still have to fulfill the requirements, but it gives them that the ability to use their work experience and not have to lose their work. And this will help us to be able to get teachers. And many of these are individuals that live in the neighborhoods where they work and are more representative. So that would be more inclusive of those schools. And so I would urge support. This is a great bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Dennis. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 352 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. The bill, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 357, introduced by Senate Judiciary by request, requires the Department of Corrections to track and report expenses that are directly related to housing youthful offenders. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 4, this act becomes effective July 1, 2021, into bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Orenshall.
Thank you, President. Senate Bill 357 requires the Director of the Nevada Department of Corrections to establish a system to track expenses directly related to housing youthful offenders who are under 18 years of age. Expenses to be tracked include education, communication with family, and interaction with family and others, healthcare, mental health services, recreational programming, and other costs the Director of the Nevada Department of Corrections determines to be appropriate. The Director is required to report the expenses tracked by the system to the Legislative Committee on Child Welfare and Juvenile Justice by July 30th of each year.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 357 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. Bill, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 358, introduced by Senate Committee on Judiciary, revises the provisions relating to wire communications. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 1, subsection 7, end of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 358 provides an exception to the general prohibition against intercepting any wire communications for situations wherein a person has barricaded himself or herself, is not exiting or surrendering at a peace officer's lawful request, and there is an imminent risk of harm to the life of another person resulting from the barricaded person's actions, so the barricaded person has created a hostage situation. And this bill is effective on October 1st of 2021.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 358 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. The bill, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 364, introduced by Senator Scheibel, revises provisions relating to emergency medical care for a victim of sexual assault or attempted sexual assault. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 5, subsection 2, end of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Scheibel.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 364 requires the State Board of Health to adopt regulations requiring a hospital or independent center for emergency medical care to provide certain training to employees who provide care to victims of sexual assault or attempted sexual assault. These facilities must inform victims of their right to receive emergency contraception and provide such contraception upon request. Failure to comply with the bill's requirements may result in disciplinary action for these facilities, including administrative sanctions or the denial, suspension, or revocation of a license.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 364 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. Bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 368, introduced by Senate Committee on Government Affairs, requires the issuance of bonds for environmental improvement projects in the Lake Tahoe Basin. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows, Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 4 of this act becomes effective July 1, 2021, and a bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 368 requires the State Board of Finance to issue not more than $4 million in general obligation bonds to fund certain environmental improvement and conservation projects included in the second phase of the Environmental Improvement Program for the Lake Tahoe Basin.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 368 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. Bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 372, introduced by Senate Committee on Health and Human Services, revises provisions relating to injury caused by fire. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows, Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 3 end of Section 3 end of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 372 limits to those caused by an open flame, explosion, or flash fire the types of burn injuries for which a healthcare provider is required to report to either local or state fire authorities for investigation. The bill also extends the timeline for submitting such reports from 3 to 7 working days, requires that in counties with populations under 100,000, such reports are to be submitted to the state fire marshal on a form approved by the state fire marshal, and provides that a fire department may, rather than shall, investigate such a report. And this bill is effective on October 1st of 2021.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 372 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. Bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 398, introduced by Senate Committee on Judiciary, revises provisions relating to the Legislative Committee on Child Welfare and Juvenile Justice. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows, Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 3 of this act becomes effective July 1, 2021, and a bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Warrenshaw.
Thank you, President. Senate Bill 398 requires the Juvenile Justice Oversight Commission to submit a report to the Interim Legislative Committee on Child Welfare and Juvenile Justice by August the 1st of 2022, containing an update on the progress made by the Division of Child and Family Services of the Department of Health and Human Services in implementing its current 5-year plan, as well as any recommendations for legislation relating to improvements to the upcoming 5-year plan, any disparities in the juvenile justice system related to race or ethnicity, and compliance with the Federal Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 398 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. Bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 400, introduced by Senate Committee on Finance, makes various changes to certain unlawful acts relating to consumer protection. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows, Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 10, this act becomes effective upon passage and approval. End of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 400 revises the penalties for certain unlawful acts relating to weights and measures, public weighing, petroleum products, and advertisements of motor vehicle fuel and petroleum products. The state sealer of consumer equitability is required to adopt regulations establishing a schedule of civil penalties for the commission of certain unlawful acts relating to petroleum products. Finally, the bill establishes procedures for an administrative hearing if requested by a person who is subject to such a civil penalty. The bill is effective upon passage and approval.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 400 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. Bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill number 404, introduced by Senate Committee on Finance, revises provisions governing cannabis. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
Are there none? Section 12 of this act becomes effective on July 1, 2021. End of bill, and this bill requires a two-thirds majority vote.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Brooks.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 404 authorizes the State Sealer of Consumer Equitability to adopt and enforce regulations relating to cannabis weighing and measuring equipment. The State Sealer of Consumer Equitability must ensure through inspection and testing that such equipment is suitable for its intended use, is properly installed and accurate, and is so maintained by its owner or user. It is prohibited for a person to have an incorrect weight or measure in his or her possession in a cannabis establishment, and for a person to sell or offer to sell an incorrect weight or measure for use in a cannabis establishment. The State Sealer of Consumer Equitability may establish an annual license fee for all cannabis weighing and measuring equipment. This bill is effective on July 1st, 2021.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Some keep voting. Anyone want to change his or her vote again? Okay, looks like it's all good. The Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Bill 404 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. Bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Two-thirds majority is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
Senate Bill 405 has been placed on the Secretary's desk. Assembly Bill number 62, introduced by Assembly Committee on Health and Human Services, revises provisions relating to Nevada Able Savings Program. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 3 of this act becomes effective upon passage and approval. End of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Ratty.
Thank you, President. Assembly Bill 62 authorizes the State Treasurer to include certain procedures for the administration of the Nevada Able Savings Program and any regulations adopted to establish and carry out the program. The bill also authorizes the State Treasurer to apply for and accept any gift, grant, donation, bequest, or other source of money to carry out the program, and requires the State Treasurer to deposit any money so received in the endowment account established for the program. Finally, this bill authorizes money in the endowment account to be used for contributions to savings trust accounts.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the Secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Assembly Bill 62 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. The bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
And that concludes order of business number 13 on the first agenda.
Thank you. Order of business 16, remarks from the floor. Oh, all right. Senator Cannizzaro? No? Okay. Guys, you want to roll? All right, there we go. Let's roll into the second agenda, order of business number 9. Motion, did you want to do 4 first or 9? 9? Did you want to do 4 first? No. Okay. Order of business number 9, motions, resolutions, and notices.
Senate Joint Resolution number 7, introduced by Senator Dondero Loop and Assemblyman Roberts, proposing to amend the Nevada Constitution to remove the constitutional provisions governing the election and duties of the Board of Regents of the State University and to authorize the legislature to provide by statute for the governance of the State University and for the auditing of public institutions of higher education in the state. End of resolution.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the joint resolution as a whole?
There are none. End of resolution.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Dondero Loop.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Joint Resolution 7 proposes to amend the Nevada Constitution to remove the constitutional provisions governing the Board of Regents of the University of Nevada. The legislature shall provide by law for the governance of the university and the establishment of its various departments. In addition, the resolution stipulates that proceeds of public lands donated for the support of the institution shall be invested by the state of Nevada as required by law. If this resolution is passed by the 2021 legislature, it must be passed in identical form by the next legislature and then be approved and ratified by the voters in an election before the proposed amendments to the Nevada Constitution become effective. Senate Joint Resolution 7 may be cited as the Nevada Higher Education Reform, Accountability, and Oversight Amendment.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the secretary will open the roll. All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the secretary will close the roll. The vote on Senate Joint Resolution 7 is 20 in favor, 0 against, 1 excused. The resolution, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
And that concludes order of business number 9 on the second agenda.
Thank you. Order of business number 12, second reading.
Senate Bill number 7, introduced by Senate Committee on Judiciary, provides that the juvenile court has exclusive jurisdiction over certain orders of protection where the adverse party is a child under 18 years of age. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
Have amendment number 25 proposed by Senate Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you. Senator Scheibel. Senator,
Yes, I believe it is me.
oh, okay.
And this is amendment number 25 to Senate Bill number 7.
Yes, did you want to move to dispense with the reading of the amendment?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Scheibel, did you want to move to adopt the amendment?
I would like to move to adopt the amendment.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Scheibel?
Thank you. The amendment clarifies that the district court has general jurisdiction over any action relating to the issuance or dissolution of an order of protection against domestic violence, workplace harassment, high-risk behavior, sexual assault or stalking, aggravated stalking or harassment that is sought against a child who is under 18 years of age. However, the juvenile court has exclusive jurisdiction over an action in which it is alleged that a child has committed a delinquent act by violation of such an order. The amendment also provides that the district court may appoint a master to hear these matters.
Thank you. Further remarks? Senator Severs-Gansert.
Thank you, Madam President. I had a question. So this amendment takes out notification to the child's school and that the adverse party attends and the protected party attends. And we had passed some legislation in 2019 to make sure that if, say, there's a bullying incident, that the response is a victim-based response so that the individual who is the victim doesn't get removed from a class or doesn't have sanctions against that person versus the person who's the offender. And in some respects, I can understand why we're not addressing the school or telling the school, but at the same time, how do we make sure, because the jurisdiction won't be, the notification won't be going to the schools, that the person who is the victim is not, is protected, I guess, and not adversely affected even further?
Thank you. Senator Scheibel?
Thank you for the question. And the reason for the amendment was after discussion with the stakeholders determining that there were not very many cases in which the notification of the school was dispositive of whether or not the order could be enforced. Essentially, what would happen was that if an order was placed against student A, to stay away from student B and they went to different schools, telling the school that student A goes to that he or she is not allowed to see student B if student B goes to a different school would not facilitate in keeping student A from seeing student B because student B isn't present at that school anyway. What it would do is produce negative consequences for student A, who then has this record within their file that indicates that they have involvement in the juvenile justice system that would not otherwise be known to the school.
If I may follow up.
Senator Severs-Gansert?
Thank you, Madam President. So my concern is if student A and B go to the same school, and how do we make sure that the victim is protected if they're at the same school?
Senator Scheibel?
Thank you. If they go to the same school, there is nothing prohibiting the applicant for the order and the person for whom the order has been granted from sharing it with school officials or anybody else who they want to inform of it. It simply keeps that dissemination of information in the victim's control so that they are able to decide who they want to be informed of this incident and who they don't want to be informed of this incident. And so for cases where both parties go to the same school, it was a decision made by our committee to remove that requirement for both parties so that, again, the victim would have some control over to whom this information is disseminated, and it does not prohibit them from sharing the information with anybody who they think might need to have it in order to ensure that the order is respected and enforced.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Okay. All right. Further remarks? Okay. All right. Hearing none, all those in favor of the amendment signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 7, ordered reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 33, introduced by Senate Committee on Natural Resources, revises certain provisions relating to natural resource management. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 16, proposed by the Senate Committee on Natural Resources.
Thank you. Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we dispense with the reading of amendment number 16.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate adopt amendment number 16 to Senate Bill 33.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Any remarks? Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. The amendment repeals the provisions of the bill that transfers certain duties to the State Fire Marshal as enforcement of the International Wildland Urban Interface Code is at the local government's fire protection level, not the state. The amendment further clarifies that the code applies to certain counties in certain situations.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 33, ordered reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 34, introduced by Senate Committee on Natural Resources, makes various changes relating to agriculture. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 112, proposed by the Senate Committee on Natural Resources.
Thank you. Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we dispense with the reading of amendment number 1112.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate adopt amendment number 112 to Senate Bill 34.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. This amendment makes some technical corrections. Specifically, it deletes the reference to Chapter 585 of the Nevada Revised Statutes in Sections 1 and 11 and adds the definition for agricultural police officer to Chapter 566.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to re-refer Senate Bill 34 to the Committee on Finance after return from reprint.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Senate Bill number 41, introduced by Senate Committee on Judiciary, revises provisions relating to orders authorizing the use of PIN register or trap and trace device. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 43, proposed by Senate Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you. Senator Scheibel.
I move to dispense with the reading of amendment number 43 to Senate Bill number 41.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Scheibel.
I would like to move to adopt amendment 43 to Senate Bill 41.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Scheibel.
The amendment clarifies that federal officers who are part of a task force, including state or local officers, fit the definition of peace officer for the provisions of this bill, prohibits a person from installing or using a pen register or trap and trace device without first obtaining an order from a district court, and provides that a peace officer may apply to a district court for such an order.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 41 is ordered reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 54, introduced by Senate Committee on Natural Resources, revises provisions relating to State Board of Agriculture. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 114, proposed by Senate Committee on Natural Resources.
Thank you. Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we dispense with the reading of amendment number 114.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate adopt amendment number 114 to Senate Bill 54.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Danyate.
Thank you, Madam President. The amendment increases the number of members of the board from 11 to 13. The amendment further changes the membership by retaining one member, each representing range and semi-range cattle production and range semi-range sheep production, instead of removing all 4 such members. It also deletes one of the proposed 2 new members to be engaged in livestock production, and it adds a member who has veterinary experience in a mixed animal or large animal practice and is a licensed veterinarian in the state of Nevada. Finally, the amendment deletes the proposed change to require that certain members must be residents from different counties.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 54, order reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 60, introduced by Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, revises provisions governing vehicles. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 168 proposed by Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure.
Thank you. Senator Harris.
I move that we dispense with the reading of the amendment.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we adopt Amendment 168 to Senate Bill 60.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. The amendment reinstates the program for 8-year rolling reissuance of license plates and extends the special permit issue to car dealer or manufacturers for moving or selling a vehicle out of state from 15 days to 30 days.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 60, ordered reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 72, introduced by Senate Committee on Judiciary, makes various changes relating to common interest communities. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 27 proposed by Senate Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you. Senator Scheibel.
I move to dispense with the reading of the amendment.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Scheibel.
I move that we adopt Amendment 27 to Senate Bill 72.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Scheibel.
Thank you. The amendment requires the Commission for Common Interest Communities and Condominium Hotels to adopt regulations establishing criteria for determining if a violation of a community's governing document poses an imminent threat to the health, safety, or welfare of the unit's owners or residents of the community, that the severity of the violations and limitations on the amounts of fines that may be imposed.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 72, order reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 145, introduced by Senator Spearman, revises provisions relating to financial institutions. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 105 proposed by Senate Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Thank you. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Madam President. Move to dispense with the reading of the amendment.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Madam President. Move to adopt amendment number 105 to Senate Bill 145.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Spearman.
Yes, ma'am. The amendment changes the frequency of the report submitted by the Commissioner of Financial Institutions from annually to biannually in an even-numbered year, and requires financial institutions operating in this state to conduct training to persons and organizations in the community, including without limitation faith-based and other consumer advocate organizations, to educate Nevada residents about the obligations of the Federal Community Reinvestment Act, and report to the Commissioner the number of training sessions conducted each year, which must be included in the report to the legislature.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 145, order reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 148, introduced by Senator Harris, establishes provisions regarding the reporting of hate crimes. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 45 proposed by Senate Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you. Senator Scheibel.
Would you entertain an amendment from my colleague from District 11? Or, sorry, a motion from my colleague from District 11, the sponsor of the bill.
Do we go to, let's take a little recess. Do we go to Order Business 9? Thank you. Senator Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we dispense with the reading of the amendment.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sure. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we adopt Amendment 45 to Senate Bill 148.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Harris.
Amendment 45 to Senate Bill 148 removes references to the Office of the Attorney General from the bill and replaces them with the Central Repository for Nevada Records of Criminal History regarding the reporting and publication of hate crime data. It also provides that law enforcement agencies must submit rather than maintain records of hate crimes and revises the time frame for submittal of information related to hate crimes from quarterly to monthly.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 148, order reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 212, introduced by Senators Harris, Orenthal, and Spearman, revises provisions relating to use of force by peace officers. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 139, proposed by Senate Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you. Senator Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to dispense with the reading of the amendment.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Harris.
I move that we adopt Amendment 139 to Senate Bill 212.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Harris.
Amendment 139 to Senate Bill 212 removes references to the Attorney General from the bill regarding law enforcement agencies reporting use of force data and replaces those with appropriate references to the Central Repository for Nevada Records of Criminal History. Removes the prohibition on the use of restraint chairs and instead places restrictions on their use and procedures to be followed both before and during the use of a restraint chair, and removes language concerning a peace officer aiming at a person's back and instead inserts spine or other vital areas of the body of a person.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 212 is ordered reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 222, introduced by Senator Scheibel, revises provisions relating to governmental administration. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 165, proposed by Senate Committee on Government Affairs.
Thank you. Senator Dondero Loop.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to dispense with the reading of the amendment.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Dondero Loop.
I move to adopt Amendment 165 to Senate Bill 222.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Dondero Loop.
Thank you, Madam President. Amendment 165 makes the following change to Senate Bill 222. It requires the Office of Minority Health and Equity of the Department of Health and Human Services to coordinate with the Nevada Commission on Minority Affairs of the Department of Business and Industry and the Office for New Americans in the Office of the Governor to facilitate an annual meeting between diversity and inclusion liaisons and minority groups and submit a report to the Governor and the Legislative Commission.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yay. Hello, guys. Yay. Any opposed? All right, motion's carried. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
All right, Senate Bill 222 is ordered reprinted, engrossed into the general file. We're almost there, guys.
Senate Bill number 245, introduced by Senator Lang, makes changes regarding employment. The people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 107, proposed by Senate Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Thank you. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Madam President. Move to dispense with the reading of the amendment.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Madam President. Move to adopt Amendment 107 to Senate Bill 245.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Spearman.
Thank you. The amendment deletes provisions authorizing an employee who believes that he or she is entitled to wages or compensation from a former employer who fails to pay within the required time to file a claim or complaint with the Nevada Labor Commission. It adds new section to clarify when the commissioner is required to take jurisdiction of a claim or complaint if the employee is subject to collective bargaining agreement, and changes the effective date of this bill to July 1, 2021.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yay. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 245 is ordered reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
Senate Bill number 268, introduced by Senator Harris, revises provisions relating to state financial administration. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 268, ordered to the general file.
Senate Bill number 387, introduced by Senator Harris, provides for the regulation of certain suppliers that provide an inmate calling service. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
Have amendment number 167, proposed by Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure.
Thank you. Senator Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we dispense with the reading of the amendment.
Thank you. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we adopt Amendment 167 to Senate Bill 387.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. The amendment changes the terminology for limitations on ancillary service charges on inmate phone calls from must not exceed to must comply with.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 387 is ordered reprinted, engrossed into the general file.
And that concludes order business number 12 on the second agenda.
Thank you. Order business number 4.
Madam President, your Committee on Revenue and Economic Development, to which was referred Senate Bill number 24, has had the same under consideration, begs the report, same back with the recommendation, amendment to pass as amended, signed Senator Dean and Neal, Chair. End of reports. And that concludes the business of the desk for this legislative day.
Thank you. Order business number 16, remarks from the floor. All right. Senator Hansen.
Thanks, Madam President. Real quick, I should have said something on SJR 7. My apologies. I want to swing back real quick and say I support that. I really want to do a little quick shout out for one of our former colleagues, Elliot Anderson, who worked so hard on that, that almost passed in this last election cycle, just barely failed. I'm a big supporter of that. I think we also had another great bill in here, SB 321, which deals very much along these ideas of splitting out the Board of Regents and Nevada System of Higher Education, getting some oversight by this body. I understand, too, there's a bill coming up with an audit of the Nevada System of Higher Ed. So I'm totally supportive of all those things and certainly hope that they move forward. But I really wanted to just do a little shout out for those guys that worked so hard on that on the last election cycle. So hopefully we can get this thing done because the Board of Regents, frankly, just does not belong in the Constitution. Thanks, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Hansen. Further remarks? Senator Scheibel.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to announce that the Senate Judiciary Committee is meeting today. I am confirming with my staff that a 2:30 start time is reasonable, but be on the lookout for an updated confirmation.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right. Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Madam President. With that, I move that the Senate stand in adjournment until the hour of 1 p.m. on Wednesday, April 14th, 2021.
1 p.m. All right. You have heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. So 1 p.m. tomorrow, guys.